Self-improvement made me hate myself. There was a time in my life where I really bought into all of the self-improvement stuff. I was watching a million different YouTube channels and reading about everything that I should do. I should meditate, I should read, I should eat healthy, I should work out, I should get good sleep, I should work on being disciplined, I should have a side hustle, I should have all of these things going on. And everything I just mentioned, those are good things. So why was this so toxic? You know, I hated myself during this period of time in my life. I always felt insufficient. I never felt good enough. I always felt like there was something I needed to do to become a better version of myself. That's what this whole thing was about. I need to be better, need to be better, need to be better. But what does that mean? If you need to be better, that means that you're not good enough. If something needs to be fixed, it implies that it is broken. If something needs to be cleaned, it implies that it is dirty. If something needs to be better, it implies that it's not good enough. That's what self-improvement is. Improvement, becoming better. I need to be improved. It implies that we're not good enough. This was my experience. This is how I really felt. That's why, that was my fuel for motivation. That was why I was doing what I was doing. Because deep down, I didn't feel like I was good enough, and I felt like I had to do all these things to be better. And that's why I feel like this was so toxic to me. Even though they are technically good habits, like, yeah, read books, meditate, go for walks in nature, work out, take care of your body, take care of your mind. These are great actions to take in life. But I was doing them for the wrong reasons. My source of motivation was toxic, and the reason it was toxic was because I had this idea in my mind about improvement, about becoming better. And that's why I want to share what helped me switch that, because here's what happened, man. I started getting into other types of content on the air and on the internet, especially about spirituality, and I started learning about concepts like self-love. And I'm like, then things started conflicting, because I'm like, how am I supposed to love myself but then also do these things? I'm afraid that if I accept and love myself the way I am now, then I'm never going to be motivated to go work out. Because isn't that the reason you go work out? Because you don't accept your body and you need to make your body better? Isn't that the reason you work out? That doesn't have to be the reason. So I would ask myself, how can I be productive and still do all of those healthy things while loving myself at the same time? And here is been one of the biggest, most important realizations for me in my journey of growth in my life, and I'm gonna share it. It's realizing that there is a difference between growth and improvement. There is a difference between growth and improvement, okay? And I'm gonna grab the camera to give an example, all right? This is a beautiful oak tree, okay? At one point in time, let's see if I can find an acorn for demonstration. All right, I don't see one. But imagine I had an acorn in my hand. This oak tree, this big oak tree, was once a little acorn. Now let me ask you a question. Was that acorn not good enough? Was there something wrong with that acorn? Was that acorn flawed? Did it need to be better? Is it better that it's an oak tree as opposed to an acorn? When this oak tree was half the size it was that size of the oak tree worse than it is now? No, of course not. Every stage of growth, from the acorn all the way up to a big, massive oak tree, every stage of that process is perfect as it is. And this oak tree is gonna get bigger. That just because this oak tree has room to grow bigger doesn't mean that it's insufficient as it is now. It doesn't mean that's not good enough as it is now. And our growth as humans can be looked at as the same way, because this is nature, right? Humans are a piece of nature, just as much as an oak tree is. We are just as much nature as an oak tree is nature, right? And this is what nature does. nature grows. Every stage of that process is flawless. So in our growth, in our personal life, just because you have room to grow doesn't mean you're not good enough. Just because you're not the biggest oak tree you'll possibly ever be in your life yet, just because you're not that level of growth yet, doesn't mean that you're insufficient. The oak tree is no better than the acorn. The acorn is no worse than the oak tree. It's all beautiful and perfect. It's just different stages of growth, different stages of evolution, right? So now when I think about like improvement, it's not like growth is different than improvement. I am growing. I have so much more growing to do in my life, but I don't view myself as not enough. So and let me give this idea out too, right? Because this really helped me. When we talk about those actions, like meditate, read, eat healthy, all that stuff, that everything that is done in the self-improvement world, I am doing now. I am literally doing it now. This is my side hustle. Like I'm making videos, I'm doing what I'm passionate about, I'm eating healthy, I'm taking care of my sleep, I'm drinking lots of water, I'm reading, I'm doing all the stuff done in the self-improvement world, except the only difference is I feel sufficient. I feel good about myself. I feel happy and fulfilled already. And I don't think I need to do these things to reach that point. Because we're not ever gonna reach that point. If you're always trying to be like, I gotta do these things to be good enough, eventually if I just do this enough, I'll be good enough. That feeling never comes. Never came for me. I did that for years. Improve. To what point? At what point do you finally say, all right, now I'm good enough? That point never comes, because eventually you reach a point and then you're like, okay, well now I gotta get here. And then you reach that point and you're like, okay, well now I gotta get here. So you never feel good enough, and it's just this bullshit cycle of always never feeling like you're enough. But in this mindset of just like, I'm like an oak tree, I'm like every other living thing in nature, each stage of my process of growth is already enough, is already flawless and perfect. But what I'm doing is evolving, I'm growing. And the oak tree is no better than the acorn, right? But then the question becomes, all right, well then what's your source of motivation? Why do you grow? Why grow anyways? You know, because isn't the point of growing to improve? If you're not trying to improve, why are you growing? Very simple. Because it's wonderful, it's fun, it's beautiful. This is like the most natural thing to the core of all living things, including humans, is growth. It feels good, it feels fulfilling. To become more confident, to grow my YouTube channel, to grow my confidence on talking, to become stronger like physically, to become better at processing my emotions, to be able to navigate through the world more efficiently. All that stuff is growth. To have a better awareness of my inner world, that's growth. But I'm not doing it because I need to be better, because I need to be improved. It's just wonderful and beautiful to do. And I was trying to hit at this point earlier, but I kind of went on a tangent. But like, when we talk about like those actions we do, like read and eat, drink water and all those stuff, like those things are actually acts of self-love, right? So I'm gonna say this, right? Before I learned this mindset, the reason I was doing those things was because I didn't feel good enough and I was trying to become better. Now, the reason I do those things is because I'm just giving love to myself. Why do I drink water? Because I'm trying to nourish my body. Think about it like, why do you water a plant? You're not watering your plant because your plant isn't good enough and you need to make your plant better. No, I need to make my plant grow bigger and then it'll finally be good enough. That's why I'm watering this plant. Of course not. No, the reason to water a plant is because you're giving love to the plant. That's it. That's why I water my body. That's why I eat healthy. That's why I read. That's why I meditate. That's why I learn about my inner world and do inner work so I can heal. And it's giving love to myself. This is how kind of like I live by this. I want to give love to everything and everything in the whole world. That includes myself. And the more I give love to myself, I become a more grown version of myself that can then give more love to others. I'm gonna relate this to a tree again. It's a perfect example. In a way, this tree is giving love to itself. It is extending its roots into the earth and picking up water, sucking in water. It's giving water to itself. It's putting its leaves out to absorb the sun. It's getting those resources. In a way, this tree, that's the tree's version of let me read, let me meditate, let me do inner work. That's the tree's actions that it does to give self-love. And what is the result of that? What is the result of the tree doing those things? The result is growth. That's how it grows. And guess what? Because this tree has grown to this level, now it can give more love to other people. Why? Because look at how it's providing shade. Look at how I'm literally using this tree to set up my phone to talk to this camera. It could provide me something to sleep on, something to hug. Like it provides homes for squirrels, you know? So to me, that's the reason to grow. Because one, I want to give love to myself, and two, the more I give love to myself, the more love I can give to the world. And why give love to the world? Why give love to myself? Because it just feels good. Because it's just beautiful. I feel like that's just my natural thing as a human being. That's not unique to me. I think that's just a natural human thing. It is just part of our jam to love. Give love to ourselves, give love to the world. And that's just kind of like our nature. That's just our nature. And for me, being more natural to my nature results in me being happier. Like that's just, I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow with what the human nature is. Growth, not improvement. Nature doesn't improve itself. Never does anything in nature say, I'm not good enough, I need to improve myself. You're a piece of nature. Don't forget that. You know, there's no clouds that are shaped wrong. There's no galaxies that are made poorly. Everything in nature is already good enough, but it's still evolving. It's still growing. It's evolving, but it's already good enough as it is, you know? So keep evolving, because evolving feels good. It makes you more grown, and you can give more love to others, and it feels good on yourself, so you don't have to feel like you're lacking. You're not lacking. You're perfect. It doesn't mean there's no growth. Your next stage of growth is just a more evolved version of your perfection, but you're always still perfect. You know, that's just my mindset. That's what's helped me grow as a person. That's what's helped me become more confident, more happy, and more productive in every aspect of my life. So anyways, I hope this video was valuable. I love you. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you like this video and comment. This stuff really boosts me up in the algorithm. It's a great way to support the channel if that's what you want to do, if you want to give love. But I love you, and peace. And be sure to subscribe. Bye.